Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I have some exciting new analysis to share with you guys inside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has now hit $47,000 and is seeing a lot of new money flooding into the altcoins. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a new altcoin that just recently released that now has some farming options that I expect to do very well because it's going after the NFT and DeFi space. This is something you guys are not going to want to miss out on because DeFi and NFTs are going to be huge. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the fastest growing and the very best Discord community in crypto. Over 20,000 members and growing. All you guys got to do to join is to click inside the description of this video, and they're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. On the Discord server, I also offer my video course and Signal. So if you guys ever want to follow every single trade that I take, copy my entire long-term portfolio, as well as just getting private VIP videos that I only make for members inside of my Discord server, then make sure you guys stay all the way to the end of this video because then I'm going to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. One final thought before we jump into the video is if you're a new guy getting into these markets, to download my free ebook. This is a study guide that I know is going to help you guys out a lot. All the information I put in there is some of the most vital information in my trading plan, so I'm going to give it to you guys for free today. Links are provided for you in the description to download. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are to start off this video. Let's talk about some thoughts and perspectives with what's going on with Bitcoin, and then we're actually going to dive into this NFT altcoin that I'm really excited for. I believe that a lot of this NFT and DeFi space is seeing such big returns, and this number is only going to continue to grow throughout this year. We've seen it with Aave, we've seen it with Synthetics, we've seen it with a number of these different altcoins, and this number is going to continue to grow because of NFTs. I think that NFTs are a little bit more untapped than DeFi is, but I think that both of those sectors combined are even more undervalued, and we're seeing a lot of really the NFT and the DeFi space starting to merge. And so we're going to dive into that altcoin here in a second, but I just want to talk to you guys about really what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin. Because guys, the dip that we had has been bought up after all of the news of Elon Musk putting some of the Tesla reserves inside of Bitcoin. We've seen a big increase in buyers coming in here, which is to be expected. I think that overall with Elon Musk actually opening the idea up to new investors to, hey, maybe you guys, if you're holding a lot of cash, maybe you should put it into something else like Bitcoin. Because, I mean, at this point, guys, we know Bitcoin's performing so well. We've seen it doing so good for such a long period of time that now we're starting to get the confidence coming in from other places. And what's interesting to me is I honestly didn't think that the institutions were even going to be buying any Bitcoin once it started breaking all-time highs, but that actually isn't the case. In fact, we're starting to see even institutional FOMO, and that's something, to be quite honest, I didn't think would happen because I just didn't assume that institutions would be the type to FOMO because, you know, they're market makers. You'd think that they'd be a lot smarter than that, but we're actually seeing the opposite. We're seeing a lot of new institutions that are flooding in, feeling like they missed out, feeling like they're getting priced out, and so they're now starting to jump in. And so we're going to continue to see Bitcoin go more and more parabolic. This is the first breakout of the all-time high. This was the first sell-off of the all-time high. And in my opinion, this move here is the first real, genuine price discovery we've had inside of this new move. This is us this is us breaking back out of the previous all-time high. All of everything is in price discovery. We've made it well above and beyond all-time highs. And now, guys, we're heading upwards of 50K. So 50K is kind of that big number that I think everybody's expecting and waiting for. That's kind of been the line drawn in the sand for quite a few months at this point, and we're getting really close to hitting that. Now, do I think that this is going to be the cycle top? Of course not. I think we're going to go up a lot higher. In fact, I think it's a little bit more likely that we'd end up coming up here upwards of about 64,000 before a top. And now that we're at this point in the cycle, guys, it's hard to say exactly how parabolic we're going to get, because when I look at this chart, I see a couple different scenarios here. This to me looks like a one wave. And so this entire move could be wave 3. We are appearing to me, when I just look at this, it looks like we're going to finish out one more big impulse, and then that's going to complete wave 3 of 3. So maybe we come up here to 64K, we top out in the 3 wave, maybe we pull back to 50K or something, and then we go up for an even bigger move. And, you know, we could sell off a little bit deeper. Who knows exactly how high. I'm just trying to share with you guys what I see inside of the waves, because what we had here in the one wave was 3 impulse waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. So this is wave 1. And now from now where we're at, you know, I see a couple scenarios. This to me looks like it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this entire move could be wave 3. And this move that we're getting into right now could be wave 5. Or this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're getting ready for that final 5 of the 3. And then we should come upwards of 64K before that 3 waves complete. This is just something that I'm watching for, because as it stands right now, we finished wave 1 of 1. That was the first move to 14K back down to 3,800. We finished wave 1 of 1, so now we're basically just working on wave 3. And so it's hard to draw out your Elliott waves inside of a parabolic market, because it keeps going more and more parabolic than most people expect. And so I'm not trying to share with you guys exactly my identical Elliott wave count. It's not meant to be taken exact. It's meant to share with you guys still how much upward potential we still have, because as it stands right now, we still haven't finished wave 3 in my opinion. And then even then, we still have to go another 5 wave to finish that wave. And so, you know, we might be sitting at 100K by the time we top out of this 3 wave, and then we still have an entire 5 wave still to come. And so this is really the way it's looking from this parabolic cycle, guys. It kind of reminds me of this move. So we break the all-time highs, we shoot up really high, and we get our first little pullback, right? And then after that pullback, this is what came. It was at this point here in the last cycle where we had our first pullback after the breakout of the all-time high. And then it was really these moves after where altcoins started to take off. And it was in this move specifically, Bitcoin's big leap out of the all-time high, that's when altcoins really started to take off. And so I think we're just pretty much following that same type of trajectory. Now, if we overlay that, you'll get something similar. Now, I don't think that we're going to be going quite this vertical, although it is possible. We could see stuff along these lines. And it's hard to say exactly how this cycle is going to line up compared to the prior cycles, just because of the fact we've seen a few different scenarios here. In the first cycle, well, after the first cycle, heading into the second one, we had this first breakout of the all-time high, and we went so parabolic, and we had like an 80 or 70% pullback in this consolidation, and then we still went for another big one. And so I've kind of wondered if we would see something similar this cycle around, where maybe we just kind of go vertical. We go up really high, and then we have some type of sharp pullback, and then we still go up for one more final move like that. This is something I've watched out for. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, which is why I personally like to play it based off of the time frames. I think it's a little bit more accurate to play it that way. But guys, the biggest point I'm trying to make here is just the fact that no matter what way you try and look at this, whether you draw Elliott waves, whether you look at it another way, most every single way you can look at this, it shows that Bitcoin still has a ton of upward potential. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of money flooding into these markets, whether it's altcoins, whether it's Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. All of these sectors are going to be benefiting from each other, and I expect to see these numbers continue to grow. Bitcoin to me I've kind of watched for 250K since all the way back down in here at 3,000. That's kind of what I personally was watching for. And so I'm going to continue to play that type of a game. That's just my trading plan. It makes sense for me to follow it. I've stuck to it for 2 years at this point. Might as well keep with it. So guys, let's actually dive into this new altcoin that I wanted to share with you, because this thing has some cool partnerships and it just released farming for you guys to actually earn on your investment. So let's dive into it. Okay guys, so the coin I want to talk to you guys about today is Interop. And if you remember, I recently talked about this coin and while it was in the pre-sale. So this just recently launched on Nerd Finance. And I'm really excited about this, mainly because it's combining DeFi and NFTs. So to give you guys a summary, you got live auctions and airdrops by holding the NFTs. So you get benefits by holding some of their NFTs. So if you buy their NFTs, you're going to be able to actually participate in their live auctions and airdrops. You get staking, farming, and cross-chain. You get music, fashion, and art, which is very customary of anything to do with NFTs. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens, and I see the real value inside of NFTs basically meaning that for the first time ever, we can tokenize our common goods, our physical goods, like cars, whether it's like e-commerce. It could be any type of thing. We can actually tokenize it. Like art is a big example. So that's really where we're seeing a lot of this new value come into NFTs, is artists will create a digital artwork and then they'll tokenize it. And so that way they can peg it to where there's only ever going to be a certain amount of these NFTs ever. So it's scarce. There's only a finite supply. And then they can also add little benefits to these these NFTs, which we're starting to see with the implementation of DeFi. So with NFTs, you get music, fashion, art. Imagine an artist, you constantly have your music stolen, people are copywriting it, all of this stuff. Well, if you tokenize it, you now have a way where they have to buy it in order to even own that. And so this is why NFTs are going to be so valuable. Now, they just recently released farming, and so you guys are actually going to be able to farm your trope, and you're actually going to be earning TRIP in return. And so the returns are pretty solid right now. I believe a couple 100%. And you guys can actually go through here and actually do your own research on this. There's a lot of cool stuff. I just wanted to give you guys a basic understanding of it. Some things I want to talk to you guys about based off of just what they're doing right now. They had a partnership with My Crypto Play, which is another crypto that I recently talked about. My Crypto Play is fantasy trading. So basically, if you were a trader and you had a bunch of other traders, you guys could actually trade against each other in these fantasy trading tournaments. And I think that's pretty cool. We've never really seen any of this type of stuff. And so with DeFi and NFTs, we're actually starting to see a lot of new infrastructure being created here. Sometimes merging both of them together, sometimes one or the other. In this case, with My Crypto Play, I think it's pretty cool that we actually have fantasy trading. I think that there's going to be a lot of traders that ultimately end up using that. So now that we have the partnerships with Interop, this is only going to create more hype. It's only going to create more traction and more network effect because all these projects are going to be working with each other. So let's actually look at the chart now, because Interop to me is still really undervalued. So this thing is a very low cap. You're looking at about $1 million, probably less than that. And so this thing isn't going to take a lot of money to come into it for it to get to move. Now, I like these low caps. I've been making a ton of money off of these low caps. And the way it stands right now, we're just consolidating. We're just inside of this range here. We haven't really done a whole lot of anything, just consolidation sideways. We haven't been on the exchanges for very long. We just released on the 25th, so that was when we had the launch. And as you guys can see, we haven't done a whole lot of anything. Now, I expect these type of coins to perform very well because we're already starting to see a big push towards these NFTs. Logan Paul partnered with Bondly, and they're actually creating his own custom edition NFTs that he's going to actually be opening, that he's actually going to be pegging to every person that buys his Pokemon cards from his YouTube live streams. All of this type of stuff is going to bring a ton of new eyes, a ton of new money into the NFT space. And so these type of cryptos that are actually farming NFTs and are allowing you to actually do that type of stuff, I expect them to do very well. And so you're going to want to pay attention for Trope. Now that they have farming, now that they have all this cool stuff, expect a lot more traction to be coming over here because the platform's released. They now have ways for you guys to earn passively. These are the ways that you actually end up locking up huge amounts of the supply, and then also you get the deflationary aspect of what the platforms provide. So this is one I want you guys to watch out for. You guys can check this out on Uniswap. I'll actually link it in the description for you guys to check it out. I'm personally going to be picking up a bag today because it did dip a little bit. As it stands right now, we're currently sitting at about $37. There's only 21,000 of these things in the total circulating supply, so there's not very many out there. It's not going to take much money to get this thing to start going pretty quick. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a reaction off of this support level very soon. Like I stated, guys, I have $5,000 worth of extra Ethereum I'm actually going to be putting into this today. I just kind of want to see what it's going to do. It's one of those things where I'm going to ultimately take my money and then farm it on their platform. I recently started getting into this stuff a little bit more, and this thing is kind of going after two sectors that I think are going to be the most profitable. So yeah, might as well go and risk a little bit, see what I can make off of it. Do your own research. I'm going to link everything in the description so you guys can go check it out. I'm interested. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the comment section. So guys, as we wrap up this video, for the people that have waited this long, you guys are actually going to be able to join my Discord server and get access to 2 different groups. These are going to be the most important parts of my channel because if you guys want to follow what I'm doing with my money, you want to see all the trades that I'm taking, where I'm allocating my investments, which long-term holds I'm holding, you guys are going to be able to find that by joining the Signal service. Now in my Discord, I offer 2 different packages. I offer the video course, which is going to be 20 educational videos that teach you guys technical analysis, and then I also offer my signals and the ability to copy my entire long-term portfolio and follow every trade that I take. So if you're a new guy getting into these markets, or you're just somebody that wants to make the most money for yourself, by joining my group, you're actually going to know exactly what I'm doing with my money. And I think that's the most valuable aspect inside of this channel. You guys want to know all the low caps I'm buying, all the pre-sales, any insider information that I get. I post all of that stuff inside of my Discord server for you guys to actually go study and make profit off of. And so if you guys want to get access to this stuff, you guys can actually purchase them together or separate. If you can only pick one, I always recommend going with the signals first because that's the way for you guys to make money. All the insider information, all the low cap coins, the The big gainers are all posted in there before I talk about them on YouTube. Now, on top of that, guys, if you don't want to sign up for any of my VIP stuff, I do have a free ebook that's also linked in the description, and all the information I put in that ebook is some of the most vital towards me being profitable inside of these markets. I know it's going to help you guys out a lot, which is why I ultimately made it for free to download. So links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.